Well, hello out there, and welcome to another episode of Guitar Chat with attorney Steven Rubin. I'm attorney Steven Rubin, a business, nonprofit, and tax attorney in Santa Monica, California, and this is Guitar Chat. And in today's episode of Guitar Chat, I'm going to drop a name, and that won't necessarily connect up to the article, the subject matter, probably not at least initially in your mind. So I'll just drop that name right away. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And what do you think when you think of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? That's right. Basketball, the Bruins, the UCLA Bruins, the Lakers, the greatest scorer in NBA history, and the shot to end all shots, the skyhook. Sorry, NBA defenders, there was nothing you could do with that one. And we got 38,000 points in the bank to prove the point. So when you hear the name Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right, you think of basketball and all those things I just mentioned. What do you not necessarily think about? At least not initially. Waiting? Still waiting? All right, I'll help you out here. Jazz and the jazz scene in Los Angeles. That's right, so in this episode of Guitar Chat, we're going to jazz things up just a little. Here's a little jazzy riff, right? Jazzy workout, at least my version of jazz. Apologies, I've kind of been a blues rock guy all my life, but no excuses. All right. In the Saturday, July 18, 2020 edition of the LA Times, on the front page at the bottom is an article in column 1 written by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And the title of the article is LA Legend Reflects on a Musical Mecca. The article begins, my first exposure to the influence of jazz in Los Angeles was in 1965 when I was a freshman attending UCLA. Edgar Lacey, a junior and fellow player on the basketball team, took me to the IT Club to see John Coltrane. As a teenage jazz enthusiast growing up in New York City, I had listened to all of Coltrane's records. Jazz was the soundtrack to my life. It was in my blood thanks to my father, who was a transit cop by day, but by night a Juilliard-trained musician who played trombone with many of the jazz greats and introduced me to my childhood heroes like Thelonious Monk and Miles Davis. Okay, only the biggest names in jazz, if not all of music. The great Thelonious Monk and Miles Davis. Mr. Kinda Blue himself. And I didn't know about this vibrant jazz scene that existed in Los Angeles in the 60s. Here's a picture on the front page of the article of Kareem, I guess with his record collection and his headphones on. But as you read through the article, which is a great article, Saturday, July 18, 2020 edition of the Times, it's got some great photographs and some great pictures. So I'm now looking at some of the pictures, and the captions are, during its heyday, Central Avenue was the heart of LA's African-American community and was host to many of jazz's greatest artists of the era. So listen to this lineup. Among them, Duke Ellington. And in the article, there's a picture of Duke with actress Louise Franklin from 1941. Charlie Parker, the Bird, Thelonious Monk, who I just mentioned, and of course, the great jazz vibraphone player. Did I say that right? Did I mess that up? Lionel Hampton. And in another picture below that, a picture of Nat King Cole, and the caption reads, Nat King Cole performs at an LA club known as Brown Broadway. Central Avenue attracted black celebrities beyond the musical world, including Langston Hughes and Joe Louis. And of course, a picture of Nat King Cole at his piano. Looks like just doing the darn thing, as they say. I did not know about this great jazz scene existed in Los Angeles in the 60s at the time. I don't necessarily think of Los Angeles, shame on me, apologies to all who think I should have known better, as one of the, at any time, kind of a jazz mecca. But apparently I was wrong. Duke Ellington, Charlie Parker, Nat King Cole, Thelonious Monk. I mean, those are the biggest names in jazz, and you could argue as big a name as there is in music. So for all you jazz types out there, go get a copy of this article and get caught up. It's an article written by Skyhook himself, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Okay, and who I was aware. I read his book that he wrote about his experiences with his college basketball coach, John Wooden, and he touched on some of his musical influences in that part of his life and growing up. But I wasn't aware of what the article covers, the jazz scene itself in Los Angeles in the mid-60s when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a star with the UCLA Bruins. That was way back. All right, so I'm going to close out now with a little more of that little jazzy riff in honor of this article, Kareem, and everything, all those super cats that I was just talking about. Whoops. That was a whoops. Been another episode of Guitar Chat. I hope you enjoyed it. To work on that. I had a couple whoops in there, but you know what? That's life. Sometimes you just have whoops. Thank you for watching this episode of Guitar Chat, and I look forward to seeing you next time.